Yo, what is up, people? What is going on? We are back with another episode of the O.O.C. Got Roberto and JG in the house. Roberto, what's up, brother?
What's going on? Just watching some Devin Hester highlights back in the day. Lost my attention and forgot to press mute.
No worries, brother. JG, what's up with you?
You know, man, living life to the fullest.
I feel you. Where can they find you, sir?
Damn.
You know, you can always find me Wednesday nights on the O.O.C. with the great Nzo, the great Roberto, and at times the amazing, outstanding, stupendous, spectacular, always man of the hour daddy. Also with my brother from another mother, Super
Why? Wait. Hold on. You know, I gotta say this because it's been a couple of streams where you've been going off. Why
Super praise, huh?
Yeah, why are we kissing Danny's ass? Huh? Can someone please explain that to me?
Because it was it Secret Invasions or something like that? We did a stream where he said I didn't acknowledge him. So now I'm making a point that every time I open up, I'm acknowledging him.
I feel you. Do what you gotta do, man, you know?
Yo, Roberto, man, why you showing off over there, bro?
He was like, hold on. Roberto was like, yo, I'm either gonna keep my camera off or I'm gonna put on a shirt. I was like, nah, bro, you keep that camera on. You know what I mean?
So this ain't what's his name? Hannigan? What's his name?
Let me big him up for the ladies that are gonna be passing on this stream. There we go. Give a flex, Roberto. There we go. Yeah.
Veins popping down. Let me get in gym real quick.
You know what I'm saying?
Do some prison curls or something.
No, man, I enjoy the outside life too much, yo.
You know, we got to start getting into some manosphere stuff. You know what I mean? Have Roberto on there. He'll be the next Andrew Tate.
What happened?
You know what I'm saying? Getting into some manosphere stuff. He'll be the next Andrew Tate. You know,
Andrew Tate, is that guy telling everyone play Plinko?
Which one?
Andrew Tate, that's the guy telling everyone play Plinko.
Not Pinko, but you know, he's manospheres talking about, oh, you know, you guys got to do this. I think I showed a video of him last week or something like that.
Same fucking guy. You know, this stupid Plinko ad, make money playing this game Plinko.
Yeah.
They got him on it now.
Do they?
You want to make money?
I don't know, because he's pretty much locked up. He's about to go to jail if he doesn't get.
Or maybe he's making some side cash on Zo.
Oh, he's trying. He's probably trying to.
That voice is a voice hard to not know. When you hear that voice, you see a face instantly. This guy's voice is somewhat interesting and annoying at the same time, you know?
Well, the shit he says is fucking annoying.
I think that's why it is. That's why it is.
You know, he'd be talking about, and like they have these videos right now where he's going off on, you know, telling people how he made money on his OnlyFans. He had a bunch of girls and he's telling people how to rob them. So now he's going to court for trafficking and shit.
What?
Oh, yeah. This guy's on house arrest. He was in Romanian jail for, I think it was 90 days. You know what I mean? And they wouldn't let him out, and now he's on house arrest. So now he's doing videos with like streams with like Tucker Carlson, and he did one with someone else the other day too. You know, but the thing is, every time he does an interview, he pretty much exposing himself and getting his ass in more trouble. You know, so there's a good chance he's going to jail, plain and simple. He's going to jail. Yeah. He's gonna go to jail. They're gonna probably find him guilty. You don't mess around in those Romanian countries, bro. Not only that is when he first started off, he was like, "Oh yeah, they're corrupted government. It's easy for us just to go in there and do what we did." And they said, "Oh yeah, we're corrupted, eh? All right, we'll show you how corrupted we are. We'll show you how corrupted we are." And you know how they found him?
Wow.
He did a stream, and in the stream, he had a pizza box that was only from Romania.
Oh my, this
So that's
this
how
is a
they knew
guy
where.
that thought he was untouchable. He can do
Yeah,
whatever he
yeah.
wanted.
Hmm. Absolutely, 100%. And they said, "Oh, you're in Romania. Okay, let's go." And then they fucking raided his house. Boom. He had all these Bugattis, and I think they took like $3 million of Bitcoin away from him and all kinds of shit, bro. So he was driving around Bugattis, smoking cigars to end up being locked up in his house. Can't go out, and no more Bugattis. So it is what it is. But other than that, how was you guys' week,
Idiot.
man? Yeah, yeah,
Idiot.
for sure, bro, for sure. I mean, okay, yeah, idiot, right? Because he's
Hmm.
up there blasting his shit. If he had just stuck in the background and done what he was doing, making his money, and you know what I mean, he would have been fine. But no, he wanted to be this internet celebrity now. So he coming on Fresh and Fit. He coming on all these channels, and every time he goes on there, he blabs some bullshit. And they have like pure YouTube videos of him talking about stupid shit, what he's doing, how to make money, how to scam these girls, and all kinds of shit like that. So,
Well, speaking of stupid dumbass of the day, did you guys see the U.S. military guy that ran across the North Korean border?
no.
Nope.
What? Well, so apparently this guy, he was stationed in South Korea, I believe, and then he had an assault charge. So they were going to ship his ass back to U.S. He somehow escaped the military officers, jumped on a tour to North Korea. Then when they got to the line, he ran across the line. Now North Korean military has him.
I, I would rather be with the Americans. Yeah, you
Yeah,
know
I'd
what I
rather deal with.
mean.
I'd rather deal with it.
No
What's the
video?
worst going to happen? Court martial or something? I don't know if they have it on video. But I know one of the people that went on tour was like kind of described the whole incident where
That's
he bolted across the line, and people were trying to stop him, but he kept on going and going. North Korea has him now.
that is crazy. So we're gonna start it off here. You know what I mean? We're gonna start it off with a little joke here that I have. I usually save it for the end. But I seen this the other day and I was like, you know what? Let me play this. I think this is kind of funny. Check this shit out, guys.
Give me your money, bitch.
Oh, calm down, bro.
You calm down. Just hurry up.
Are you a black guy?
Are you serious?
What?
What, just because I'm robbing you mean I'm black?
Well, I mean,
Why would you think that?
I don't know, maybe because you're robbing me and you're black?
How you know I wasn't a white guy?
Because, bro, you talk black.
Excuse me? Talk black.
Sorry. I mean, talk African American.
I didn't know black was a language.
Look, man, I didn't mean to offend you, okay? I was nervous.
How would you feel if I just assumed you was a gardener?
I am a gardener.
How would you feel if I assumed you was in a mariachi band?
I'd be fine with it. I love mariachi.
How would you feel if I assumed you was illegal?
Oh, okay. Calm down. That's too far. Who you been talking to?
Doesn't feel too good, does it?
Okay, well, how would you feel if I assumed you need to pay child support?
How would you feel if I assumed all you did was get drunk and watch soccer?
How would you feel if I assumed you only eat chicken and watermelon?
How would you feel if I assumed you only eat tacos and fajitas?
Well, how would you... Damn, I could really go for a taco right now, actually.
Hey, actually, I could do the same.
There's actually an amazing taco truck down the street.
Oh, really? I gotta check that out.
You probably won't like it, though, because they don't have grape soda.
You know the difference between a Hispanic and a stoner?
What?
Stoners have
You know
papers.
the difference between a black father and a boomerang?
What's that?
Boomerang comes back.
What's your favorite band? Juan Direction?
What's really long and black? The line at KFC.
That one's kind of funny. I like that one.
It's good, right? I like Juan Direction, I'm not gonna lie.
It was a good one, right?
Yeah, it wasn't bad, wasn't bad.
Oh, that's funny.
Shit.
Oh, that's hilarious, bro. When I seen that, I was dying. I said, you know what? I gotta show this one on the O.O.C. These guys are gonna love that shit. That shit was funny. But as you can see, we have topics. You know what I mean? So first topic we have is, are schools poisoning our kids? And the reason why I asked this question because I have a friend. He's from Lebanon, but he was living, I think, in Kuwait or something like that. Came back to Montreal and he was talking about certain things. And he was like, man, he goes to the mosque all the time and does his prayers and stuff. And he's like, the people there, Muslims there, they like, they don't even want to put their kids in school anymore. They want to homeschool, right? And as he was telling me this stuff, I seen this video and I was like, oh shit, this video actually goes on to kind of the situation that me and him were talking about. So let's check this out.
Excuse me. Sorry, excuse me. Excuse me. Sorry, excuse me. So what we're going to do is we're going to read the story.
This is a disgrace. Men dressed as prostitutes reading filth to children. Look at all these people here, lads. They're a protection of grooming.
Get your hand off me!
You're the one.
Get your hand off me!
Look at this, lads. They're all around me.
They're all around me. Wait.
So,
fuck.
what are your thoughts on the video?
We know it's happening.
Yeah.
He's just bringing proof. And you know what? Reverse the tables. Would that man not be arrested?
If
If he put his hands on them saying you can't be doing what you're doing?
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
There's Nzo, didn't I say there's a war coming? What episode was that?
Shit.
People had enough of that shit. People had enough.
Yesterday.
We were talking about how they're forcing it on us, and people are standing up, and people are speaking out, and more people are speaking out, and it's starting to be a little war, and the war is only gonna grow, man. The war is only gonna grow because you have to do things in moderation. Anything that's forced upon people, you can't predict a reaction, yo.
Absolutely. JG?
I mean, it's when you tack that along with that protest or whatever they did when they said we're coming for your kids, and it's getting ridiculous. And the problem is for me, I don't care if they want to be transgender, crossgender. I don't
really care either.
So why are you trying to push an agenda?
Hey, let me tell you something. And I was gonna say this too, because we gotta be careful what we say as well on this platform. Because I found out that freaking, and he's been on the channel before. MSK, you remember MSK, Roberto? His channel, his whole channel, got taken down. Now, I don't know the real. Well, I talked to K-Dots, and K-Dots basically told me that he had a few people on the stream, and on the stream they were talking about how there's only two genders and stuff like that, and that shit got him flagged for hate speech. So if we come on here and we talking that crap, and we could get the channel taken down for talking about that. But let's go ahead and talk about, black women ain't shit or black men ain't shit.
They get all kind of ratings.
And there's no issues with that whatsoever. Go ahead, Roberto. I know. I can feel it. Don't hold back, brother. Don't hold back.
No, it's ridiculous because they see it as hate because we're not on their mandate. Do you think everybody's just going to abide to your thoughts and beliefs and it's all going to be a happy world? No, we want racism to stop. It's not stopping. It's a struggle. It's a struggle. But, if we can have the same rights when we're oppressed, or racism comes our way, don't you think it would stop a bit?
Absolutely, 100%. And you see, when I was talking, I want to bring this up, right? Before we continue, because when I was saying it's okay to say certain things about black people online, I was watching Amazing Lucas, right? And he went on this channel with this Man of Fear stuff, and they were talking their crap, and he tried to debate it. They muted him. When he left, they started talking shit. So I happened to come across this part. I didn't really watch the video because, you know what I mean? But I happened to come across this part and I was like, listen to this shit. Listen to what this guy has to say. And I hope I'm queued up at the right spot.
The symbiote.
No, it wasn't the weight. It was not the weight. It was the beauty spectrum.
Weight is a part of beauty.
Okay, hold on a second, Z. I brought the man in myself, okay? I know the man personally, okay? Personally. He didn't say that shit. I know what he said.
Yeah. He pointed out the Fibonacci sequence is, it's 1 + 1, 1 + 1 is 2, 1 + 2 is 3, 2 + 3 is 4. There's a ratio.
Hold on.
Brother, your name is Dragon?
Especially Black Men.
That's not the question.
Okay, I'm gonna share it. I'm gonna find it over again. But it shouldn't be that far. Anyways, talk, guys. Talk about what this such be while I find this out.
Yeah,
maybe that. Oh, go ahead, JG.
Now, I wish we could have someone that is of that group to speak, because I'm having a hard time understanding what the trials that they're trying to push. You said I'm not getting it. Because, like I said, I don't care if you want to be a transgender, sexual. I don't care. I just want to live my life, raise my kid, and just be happy. I'm not going somewhere saying, "Oh, is there a transgender over there? Oh, yeah, I got to go." No, I don't care. So I guess I'm just lost because I'm not of that group. So I would never understand. It's like someone who's outside of being black would never understand what we're really talking about.
But you know what's funny? And I'll say it again because I always compare it. It's like you'll get all of this stuff, but where's Black History Month in school? Black History classes in school, right? How come we don't have no Black History classes?
You know what? It's funny you bring that up, Bonzo, because while I was holding my lip back and all that, I had a thought a couple of days back saying, why is it only black people want to be symbolized and glorified? I don't see any Hispanic History Month. I don't see any Asian History Month, Jewish History Month. Are they like doing us a favor to shut us the fuck up by giving us these little rewards like Black History Month? They give us the shortest month in the year. They had this thing on CNN celebrating black comedy. We know it's there. Why do we got to keep celebrating everything? Like, are we coming to an end? Is something happening? Like, why do we have to be celebrated? That's my whole fucking point.
Okay, so here's the reason why I say it's because we've had a history of not really having a history, if you understand what I'm saying. Never talking about the real things in Black history. They don't talk about, the things that Black people have invented or created or anything like that. Now, why there's no Latina month or one of those kind of months is because they don't have the type of slavery history, the 400 years of being killed and murdered like we have. That's why
there's no Armenian month. There's no Jewish month.
Yeah, but if you check out the population of America, the second highest is Black people. You know what I mean? So I'm pretty sure if they did the same thing to Armenians and then had an abundance of Armenians in America, they probably would have done something like that. Because look what's happening now with just the community, the alphabet community that we're watching. As they grow, the more rights they get. As they grow, the more privileges they get. You understand? When they were just a minority, when they were not being heard, you didn't hear none of this stuff. But now all of a sudden it's all over the place. Why? Because there's more of them. And what happens when there's more of them? There's more money to be made.
But on the rebound, what has Black History Month and all these things done?
I think they've educated us.
But has anything changed? If anything, it's gotten worse.
Yeah, but nothing. Black History Month is not there to change anything. I think.
But what is it there for?
It's there to educate people on some of the stuff that you wouldn't normally get.
Right? How long have we had Black History Month?
As long as I can remember.
And most
when I was a kid, there was no Black History Month.
Yes, there was.
No,
Well,
there
I don't
wasn't.
know
How do you
about
know?
you.
You weren't even around. I'm
Well,
telling you,
okay. I mean,
there was no Black History Month.
I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna Google when
I
Black
can't
History Month
recall
is.
there being a Black History Month, and I would think I would know. Like there was no special event for Black people. You just had some Black cartoons, Black
Right,
TV shows.
but at the same time, okay, says that
You know
no,
what it
not
is, Anzo? Think
yeah. Go
about it.
ahead.
Back then, when I recall, there was no Black History Month. The black shows that were on TV, there was no gangster shit. It was all family oriented shit. That generation was pure family orient, right?
So
And then when those shows disappear because now they want to push the stigma of the single black mom and the black father's never there, you can't really have black family shows because, in reality,
yeah,
that's not
they
really
don't.
what it is, right?
Hmm.
I just, if you really want to go conspiracy theory and start like looking at shit, and you
So
could have
black
questions forever. I just
the
think this is a struggle that, like, slavery or not slavery, racism will disappear when there's peace in the Middle East.
the
Mm.
prosecutors to Black History Month was created in 1926 in the United States.
But it wasn't
But it says
celebrated. It wasn't like
But it says in December 1995, the House of Commons officially recognized February as Black History Month. So Black History Month was started in 1926, but it was officially given the month of February in 1995.
this is what I'm saying. It became advertised. It became, an event in 1995. Be it existed in 27, it wasn't really put out there. You know what I mean? Also,
I don't even think because the way it's
I didn't even know it existed. Like I said, I didn't even
right.
know it existed.
But what's up, Beaming Coon? What's up? No, the Mac is fine. I don't know what we're talking about here. The Mac is fine, at least from what I'm seeing.
Everybody's attacking the Mac, huh?
Good to see you guys. Basil, thank you for coming up. The others haven't contributed as much to American history. Dewan said hello. Right, that's exactly it. That's why they don't have those other kind of months, right? Because when you check on it, really and truly, America was created and built by the hands of black slaves. That's a fact. You know what I mean? So, yeah, they need to have.
But who's doubting that? Nobody's doubting that.
No, I
We
know,
know
but
it.
that's what I'm saying. But that's why I'm saying that's why you hear of a Black History Month and not as other races, because, like Basil said, they don't have as much to contribute to the American history.
But you know how I see how they see us as Black History Month?
Mm-hmm.
That's a whole month of black people just complaining. Because it's been
Oh.
happening for so long, Anzo. This is when we come out the most. This is when black is mentioned the most.
Mm-hmm.
Black. Everything's black oriented. So think about it for the people that don't really like us. You don't think they see that as complaining for a month?
I don't think it's seen as complaining. I probably think they see it as annoying, right? Where
Same
everything they
thing.
look.
It's just a degree of complaining, right?
Yeah, but no, you're saying they see it as us complaining, but we're not complaining because we're celebrating. So I don't see them seeing it as us complaining. What I see them seeing it as is an annoyance to them because everything you see, black commercials, black advertising, black this, black that. But at the same time, don't you want them to be annoyed? Right? Don't you want them to be pissed off? Don't you want them to be like, fuck it? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, if you have an issue with black, then yeah, we're gonna bombard you with the shit. Now, what I do say is that Black History Month is every day. Black history is every day, not just a month, right? But it's celebrated in a month. But the problem is that full month you get all this black stuff, and then for the rest of the year, nothing. That's the problem. You know what I mean? I think that's the problem. And now I think they're going a little bit, you can see Hollywood, they're doing all kinds of race bending and, diversity hires and stuff like that. So a lot of things are changing. It's just, are they always changing for the better? That's the question. What do you think, JG?
You know, man, I've battled with this Black History Month for a long time because when I was a kid, when it was Black History Month, all we watched was Eyes on the Prize over and over and over and over again, to the point where I
Mm-hmm.
knew it verbatim, each
Mm-hmm.
damn
Mm-hmm.
episode, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, it wasn't until I went and researched on my own that I found out a lot more things. So I
Mm-hmm.
think Black History Month, this celebration, if you want to call it that, kind of hinders us a little bit because it only focuses on specific situations in Black
I
history.
agree. I agree. I agree.
Very well
But that
said.
and I agree with that 100%. But that's why I say that we have to have Black history in the schools. Like we
Because
have a rich history. Like why is there not? Why are they so? And it goes back to what we're talking about, right? You're getting these readings, right? These readings, and when we ever say, let's say what YouTube would call a derogatory word, we'll try and switch it up, right? So let's say if you wanted to say, prawn instead of porn. All right.
Okay.
That way, because that's what I notice a lot of these YouTubers are doing now. They're saying prawn and drape instead of, you know what I mean? So, yeah. So, when it comes to this stuff is being pushed in schools. We're seeing videos of it all the time, right? This stuff in front of the kids. This is going on. This is doing that. But why aren't they pushing the Black history stuff to these kids, to ours? I think it would be more educational for a Black child to learn about his history than to learn about just basic American or Canadian history.
through all of these Black History Months, all these Februaries from 1995 to 2023, I learned something about U.S. Black history from a Uber driver in New York City that blew me away, and we did an episode on it.
Yeah, they'll never talk about that. They never
Why
talk about that.
that? Now, if you want to talk about shit, let's talk about that because
Right.
retribution is something that's more
Mhm.
should be spoken about, if anything. All
Mm-hmm.
those prosperous black towns that existed that are
Mm-hmm.
now lakes,
Mm-hmm.
that is fucked up. You want to dig up shit?
Mm-hmm.
It's the same shit that's happened in Canada with the Indians.
Mm-hmm. The
The
Indian,
Mhm.
government
yeah,
wants to
yeah.
hide shit. They don't want to dig it up because it'll be too much on them. It'll, like Anzo said, it's the initiative is the dollar bill right now. If anything's
Mm-hmm.
going to cause you to lose money, no matter the circumstance, we will never understand the answer.
100%.
It's fucking sad. It
100%.
fucking enrages me. There's so many things that are wrong that can never be right.
But that's why I say if you have a Black course in schools, a Black history course, then these stuff will get discussed, right? These stuff will be talked about. You can't have a Black history course and not talk about what they did to Black Wall Street and stuff like that. You have to have that stuff in there. You have to have Black inventors. You know what I mean? The stoplight
Mhm.
was created by a Black man. First open heart surgery was created by a Black person. So you would have to have those things in a course, but they don't offer that. And that is the problem. Are we satisfied? I think the majority of us are satisfied with having a Black History Month, but I think a lot of us want more than just a month, which is me too, as well. You know, I don't want to be sitting here and, and to be honest with you, I don't even give a shit. You know what I mean? Like, do you care about Black History Month? It's like
Not really.
February. It's just February to me, except we're just seeing a bunch of Black people shit on. You know what I mean? They have to make it to where you want to care, where the education that they teach you and the stuff that you learn is more about stuff that you just, not just MSK and Martin Luther King. You know what I mean? You got to teach us about the Black Wall Street and all that kind of stuff. And that's the stuff they should be showing people, right? But they won't do it because it makes them look worse. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Makes them look bad. So there's always things in history where they want to forget. And I think that's one of the things why it's like, hey, let's celebrate this, let's celebrate that, but let's forget about this, right? Let's forget about, cutting up black people and roasting them over a fucking fire. Let's forget about all that stuff that we did, the Black Wall Street, burning it down because we didn't want black people to make money. Let's forget about that. But Malcolm X and Martin Luther King, they were assassinated and this and that.
Let's give him a day.
Oh, they
Yeah.
didn't. Malcolm X don't even get anything. If you notice, doing Black
Malcolm X
History
was a
Month,
rebel
exactly like anybody that perceived as militant or rebel, they don't showcase them. If you notice,
because
Oh
he's
yeah.
the real purpose. He's the real sign of the frustration that's felt,
Mhm.
and that can't be seen. That can't be celebrated.
Look at the Black Panther Party. They're barely
Mhm.
celebrated. You have people, and we've had a few of them on this stream that actually called them a terrorist organization. Now,
you know how they
please,
stopped them?
yeah,
Because they
by
gave out food programs. That's how they try. Like
mhm,
you hate us that much that when we try to do for our, you always say, well, not no, I'm not gonna say all of them, but
right.
those the powers that be will always say, "Oh, you're lazy, you're not doing enough for yourself." Okay, when we do it, what do you do?
And we have to explain that when we talk about this stuff, we ain't talking about everybody, okay? Because you'll have a few people that come in here, well, oh, this and that. No, we ain't talking about everybody. We're talking about a small majority, maybe minority or whatever of people. So just to clear that up. But it's like you said, the Black Panther Party, they actually got a black person to infiltrate the organization and
Hmm.
bring it down, right? So not only can we not trust them, there are some of us that we can't trust.
Of
And that's
course,
the problem.
always.
Facts, facts.
And I'm
That
sure that guy is chasing the paper.
I think he was actually chasing to get out of jail, like
Yeah,
got arrested for something, and they said if you do this, you won't go to jail or whatever. You know what I mean? So I think that's what that was about. But at the same time, when you start, let's say he said, okay, you know what? Yeah, I don't want to go to jail. I'm going to do this. But when you start and you get into the organization and you actually see what they are about and how they're trying to help people, how can you still go through with bringing them down?
and then he ended up killing himself supposedly
I think so. Well, supposedly,
right after he
you
spilled the
know.
beans about what happened. All of a sudden, he kills himself.
hmm Malcolm X, Malcolm X, was murdered by his own people as well. It's just, it's not just them that we worry about sometimes, though. We worry about our own people as well because they don't want to see us strive. You know what I mean? It's fucked up. It's really fucked up.
Hmm.
But other than that, I know a lot of people who are now wanting to take their kids out of school and homeschooling them because of the stuff that's going on and what they're trying to do. You know, I even had a video, I didn't save it, but I should have, where Justin Trudeau was talking to some Muslims and he was explaining to them that everybody in Canada has rights and we're trying to do this and that. But the only thing is, it's like they're at the forefront and everybody else is in the background. Do they have it hard? Yes, they do. 100%. Is there still a lot of racism and bigotry towards them? Yes, they do. But they also have more rights than we do. And we have been trying to get rights for more than 400 years. Now you'll say, oh, black people have rights. Yeah, you have rights. But yeah, we do. But we also have systematic issues that keep us down as well,
Mm.
you know? But yet they're trying to build up them. They're trying to build them up. I don't know, man. Um, if I had a kid in a school today and they did stuff like that, I don't know how I would react.
I don't
You,
either. I don't either.
Roberto?
Sorry, you were saying?
If you had a kid in school and the stuff was going on, how would you react?
If the majority of the people disagree with it and they continued with it, I'd pull my kid out.
Would you homeschool?
But my question with homeschool, I'm teaching him at home. Now, he's been with me now for 3 years, or she was with me for 3 years, or they with me for 3 years. I gotta think how I talk. And they're at the point of, grade 11. Is the government going to recognize my whole homeschooling as the proper, stages that they needed to get to grade 11? Did they meet all the curriculums? What is
That's
this
a good
homeschool?
question.
You can't just determine, hey, I'm going to homeschool my kid, and what do you want this kid to do in life, man? Be homeless? What the fuck?
You see, that's the thing. I've never thought about that because I don't know how it works when you homeschool
It
a
just
child.
dawned on me, Anzo, because it's very random and rare that someone homeschools their kid unless they have an agenda. Like them rednecks. Sorry, am I allowed to say that?
Yeah, you said it.
Well, them people, a lot of them homeschool their kids because they want to teach them, hate them black people. They can't teach that in school. They don't want their kids next to black people. They don't want their kids next to Latino people, any ethnic people. There's a lot of that in the U.S. that I saw in one of those kind of Dateline shows, right? They ain't worried about their kids getting any kind of fucking diploma.
I think you would still be able to do the government required test, I would guess. You know what I mean? So, you have to do math,
You better
English,
be a
science,
fucking
whatever.
genius, Hanzo. Because if you're wasting 3 years and you're not doing the things you should be taught to pass that test, how the fuck you gonna pass it?
Well, you
They
see,
don't
that's
get
the
that
thing.
shit easy.
That's the thing. Not everybody is capable of homeschooling. You understand?
100%.
Not every parent is, you think you're just going to sit at home. What are you teaching your kid to read and write? And that's it, right? Math and stuff like that, the basics, But in school, you had to learn algebra, you had to learn calculus, you had to learn different
Languages. So
languages,
you pull your
right?
kid out now.
And
Then what?
you don't speak Spanish or French, right? How are you going to teach them Spanish or French?
Then what?
Well,
Is that a master plan that they know that the majority of the fighters are gonna do that, and then the whole school system's fucked up? If you're gonna teach anything to anybody and make it stick, why is it like you look the best skilled athletes in the world? They start doing things as kids. If you start something as a kid and you keep doing it, by the time you're an adult, you're like a pro at it. This is why they're targeting kids, Anzo. There's something in the fucking future that they see. If they do this now, they'll reach that point then. Because it makes no sense that, all of our lives, this kind of shit's censored from us, 18 and over, and now you want to throw some stuff at them just like that at the very young elementary? It makes no sense, and it can only bring out pure anger and outrage. Even if you are a part of that agenda, you can't have anything forced on you.
I agree.
You know what? I don't know if I would take my kid out. Now I'm explaining why. I would be pissed if we were not informed that they were going to implement this thing into the schools. But number one, I wouldn't homeschool my kid just based on the social dynamic of it. I need my kid to be around other people, other different types of people, other ethnic groups, other people with different sexual orientation to learn how to maneuver in the world.
Absolutely.
So that would be my biggest reason for not wanting to pull my kid out of school and homeschool them. Now, as far as this agenda, as they would like to call it, in that video, my biggest question is, did they try to sneak that into the school? Were parents notified that they were going to? Because I can't imagine a school doing something like this without notification to the parents.
Yeah, I don't know. For me, you're right. But at the same time, I also think that schools are embracing it, right? Because they have little moments where it's like, well, if you don't, you should be kicked out of school. Like the video we seen where the teacher was like, "Oh, if you don't follow," and I think I showed it, where if you don't follow, this or that, then you shouldn't be in school. And even Justin Trudeau, our prime minister, he talked about it to where he said, "Oh, that teacher got reprimanded or whatever, but they didn't actually say what her punishment was for that." And he was like, "We don't agree with that kind of situation, but at the same time, you have this law that they passed where if you're transphobic or anything like that, you end up getting or could be fined up to $25,000. But again, they don't have that for us. You know what
Are
I
my
mean?
are my peers that determining this amount that I have to pay? Are they the people that I offended, or it's just random people?
I
How
don't
the
know.
how
You
the
know what I
fuck you
mean?
gonna find somebody that much, man? How you rightfully do that and not have a conscience, man?
And
And
what do
if
they
you do,
classify as offense?
it,
Because you could say anything, and they can say, "Well, I was offended by that."
100
Yeah, yeah.
100%, 100% you could.
Discard that from the files.
100% you could find certain ways to, you know what I mean, like say this person is hateful or this person is that or this person is this, and they're probably not. They could say take some of the videos that we've done, clip them and say we're transphobic or we're this and hate speech and blah 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 and all kinds of stuff like that. But at the same time, like I said, if you want to say things against black people, you can go right ahead and say them. And I think I found the spot where I was talking about in this video. So let me bring it up and see if this is it.
The instance where you believe that he held black women accountable or said that they were less than because they are underperforming as beautiful women. You still have yet to give an example of how he is the absence of something. But
Wait.
When Obsidian brought up Derek Jackson, when Obsidian brought up Derek Jackson, and you were given the opportunity to hold this black man accountable, as you claim that the manosphere is not doing, you did not take that opportunity. It does seem as if you are just using holding black men as a deflection to where when a black man brings up black women and the things that she should be accountable for, you're using black men accountability as a
I
deflection.
don't think that's the
Now,
spot.
I want.
He
Hold
said
on.
about the obesity and stuff like that, and they blame Kevin Samuels for that. I think that because white guys have been saying things like that for years, on
Mm,
various posts, on Yahoo News and stuff. It's not anything new. One of them even said something like that on Oprah. The thing that bothers them the most is that it seems as though black men and white men are starting to agree on it because in the past black women had the
Here we go.
luxury of
I
um,
think.
lying on both sides and making black men and white men each other's enemy. For example,
There.
if white men were to say something about black women, then they would just say, "Oh, white supremacy, racism, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera," and then black men would get up in arms in defense of that. If black men were to do something and say something or make a complaint about black women, then they can just say, misogyny, cheating and beating. Look at these
uh,
thugs. Look at the way, deadbeat dads, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So their propaganda engine does seem to be waning, because both sides aren't passing judgment on each other anymore. Black men aren't really looking at white men as this evil white supremacists that are just insulting our queens, and white men aren't looking at just a group of thugs who just dodge responsibility because they are just genetically irresponsible people. They see that wall crumbling, and they blame Kevin Samuels for that.
So basically, what he's saying is black women are to blame for the divide between white and black people, and a lot of that panel, that show, is like 3 hours or something like that. It's just shitting on black people. And these are a bunch of black people. It's 4 hours and 40 minutes. You know what I mean? And that's what the red pill does, is they shit on black women like crazy, bro. But it's okay for you to say those stuff. You know what I mean? It's okay for you to villainize when it's us. But when it's them, there's an issue. Thoughts, Roberto?
100%.
Mm-hmm. JG.
I want to go back to what he said about black women are underperforming. What do you say based off their beauty?
Oh, okay. So the reason why they say that is because supposedly, and there's no really stats to it, but their statistics are that black women are on the bottom of the beauty totem pole, basically.
Man, let me tell you, maybe because I'm so pro black, I don't see it. I see black women as I see women in general as
Bruh.
beautiful. As beautiful, but
Facts.
black women for sure. I mean, the queens we have. Oh my god! So, I, some people will call it self hate.
Mm-hmm.
Some people will call it preference. You love who you love, you like who you like. But in no way, shape, or form will I go out and treat black women as if they are just not beautiful, because that's not the case. Because we have
Absolutely.
too much mess going on, especially for our young women, for them to think that they're not
100%.
enough and they're not beautiful enough.
Listen.
That's what we, as a lot of black men, we need to do a better job of doing. And of course, the media around the world, they're never going to promote black women as they should. So it's up to us to do it.
So
Look at
this
that.
is
Lord have
Chloe
mercy.
Bailey. You
Lord have
telling
mercy.
me, you telling me that she ain't beautiful? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Man, she
Hmm?
be pregnant the
Who's
first
who's
night.
telling you that? They should shut the fuck up.
You know what I'm saying, bro? Like, you're gonna tell me that this is on the bottom of the beauty totem pole?
Man,
No.
she's pregnant the first night. No lie.
Facts.
Going down.
100%.
Going down.
100%. 100%. 100%. So that's what I'm saying. It's like I don't sit here and rate all this bullshit, but the fact that some of these guys have over 100K subs, they have like 400 or 500 people watching at one time. It's crazy to me that this is the stuff that people want to hear. It's like, whatever we can do to bring a black person down, let's do it.
Exactly.
Or
They
some
even
people like to go there because they're just like an argument. They don't believe in what they're saying, so they'll go there. Because do they have like the same kind of options with the chat and stuff?
yeah.
I'm sure some people go there just to fucking argue.
Well,
Because why would
they're
you support that shit?
Well,
They're,
you see, the thing is, their chats agree with a lot of the things that they say, right? So if someone else comes on there to like maybe talk about certain different situations, the chat will get on that person, right? And when Lucas went on there, he was trying to get them, you guys are bringing up all this information and all these talking points, but let's get to some facts, because he likes statistics. So where are the statistics? And they couldn't bring up no statistics. Like, there's no statistics that they could bring up or find to actually, co-sign the shit that they're saying. But yet people, and I think it's because like-minded people will look at it and be like, yeah, I always knew that. These guys are right. They're speaking the truth, right? But never have any facts to back up anything they say. They
You know
talk
what?
about, yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, you know what? Those are the type of guys that will say a couple words in French and claim they're fluent in French, but because you don't speak, you just assume they fluent in it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
That's what
mm-hmm,
those type of guys are. No
mm-hmm.
pussy getting motherfuckers. I have to say it
Facts.
because
Facts.
they probably got their heart broken by one black person and said,
Facts.
"Fuck them all."
Facts, 100%. And some of the stuff that these guys talk about, like, I've never had that issue. You know what I mean? I've never had the issue that these guys are talking about. Now, I'm 48, so obviously times change. Oh, 49, sorry. Times change, women change. But at the end of the day, women are fucking women. That's it. Plain and simple.
Facts.
They make it seem like you have to be built like Roberto, right?
stop.
Roberto, how tall are you? You look like you're about 6'5". How tall are you,
I'm
man?
only 6'1", man.
But close enough. Damn.
That shows you Canadians ain't that tall. Huh? Canadians ain't that tall.
No, but it's true though. They say like you have to be built like Roberto. You have to be making six figures, and that's the only way you're gonna get a woman.
Let me tell you something, Anzo. I'm gonna prove that theory wrong. If I had that fucking picture of these beautiful women in Saint Tropez on this fucking yacht, they're all dimes according to the life
Yeah, yeah.
standards. And then they show the guys who own the boat. It's all these fucking wrinkled up, prune, out of shape old men that you just see cha-ching, 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 cha-ching. It don't matter what you look like because money can fucking make that shit disappear. Not all women, but the women you want to get with.
That's and right. And I agree with that too. You'll see that, but that's what they're saying. It's because these guys have money is why they have those girls there. Which, yeah, it may be the case, right? But if you're charming and you're
those were the
funny,
old days, Lonzo. Those were the old days.
even
that still exists.
Even now, they still exist 100%.
So what you do for a living? That comes out some point. What you do for a living?
Yeah,
Where you
well,
live?
you can't be a bum or anything
What
like that.
you drive?
It has come out many times as nothing. I live in an apartment. You know what I mean? I work so and so. But the thing is, again, if you're charming enough and you can make a woman laugh, you know what I mean, and you know how to talk to them, you can get almost any woman you want to.
Yeah, that shit will work with the woman till you
Mhm.
leave her, and she goes and hangs with her friends, and her friends all come with their fucking checkpoints. So, where do you go to school? Where does he live? What does he do? How much money does he make? Da da da. And she can't answer those questions. Girl, you better leave his broke ass. Girl, he ain't the one for you, girl. Because Anzo, I could tell you, it didn't happen a lot, but it happened to me that a girl just vanished.
But a real woman won't do that. You see, that's the
We're
thing.
saying girl. I don't know which
Right.
category you're in.
I'm talking
Women
a
don't
real
hook
woman.
up with those fucking
A real
tamales and fucking
no,
talk
you
that
can
stupid shit.
you can have young ones that are older than their age and stuff like that, right? But what I'm saying is, the superficial ones, the ones that are like, yeah, those ones will care. But real women, and you don't want that. If that's what it takes for her to bounce, then she did you a favor, right? But the real ones, a real woman ain't gonna give a shit about that. A real woman that's making her own money and doing her own shit ain't gonna care about that as long as you are treating her correctly. That's all it matters, man. But these guys make it seem like it's useless for people. You know what I mean? Like it's useless for men, and you're not gonna get this, and you're not gonna get that if you don't do this and you don't do that. That's bullshit.
And if you notice, a lot of those women that go for guys like that are some of the most unhappy women you would ever meet.
100%. 100%. And then when those type of women end up alone at 30 or whatever, that's where these guys come in and they're like, you see, you're 30 years old and you did this and you did that, and that's why they trash on them, right? But again, we have to understand that and it's also where you're from too, right? Western society women are totally different than a woman that's from, like, let's say, Jamaica, or you know what I mean, like that. They're totally different type of women. You understand? So that's the thing. So it also has to go with where you're from. Like maybe because these guys like to fucking, they live in Miami. So maybe the women in Miami are superficial like that. But maybe if you go to New York or you go New Jersey or someplace like that, you won't find that same thing there. Right? So it all depends on where you're from or which demographic we're talking about. But these guys make it seem like it's every single woman in the world that is like that. And you just got to broaden your horizon, man. I say this all the time. I'm like, listen, the only way to learn is to get out there and do it, right? You're going to get rejected. You'll get rejected probably more times than you will actually get what you need. But if you keep trying, it's a numbers game. Sooner or later, you're gonna get a yes. It's just that simple.
Facts.
Do arranged relationships still happen? In some cultures, they do. Yes, that is correct. Guys running after IG models who are the ones who think like that, they are attracted to a filter. 100%. 100%, because they see all these girls on IG, you know what I mean? And they talk to them, and the girls, they think that these girls are talking back. When you go to like the OnlyFans or anything, girls are popping, there's a dude in the background messaging, guaranteed messaging. Hey, what's up? Blah blah blah. Andrew Tate taught us that. You know what I mean? So if you think you're really talking to these women, you're not. It's all about the money. And yes, you will have a lot of women that are all about the money. But at the same time, you will find some really good women out there if you just look and try. You know, some of these guys will get rejected one time and never want to fucking talk to another woman again. Oh, you rejected me, and no, keep going. Keep going. Shit, I'm sure Roberto, with his fucking big ass body and muscles, was rejected a few times. You know what I mean?
You know, you can't get everything you want, man. Like, you can't get everything you want in life, even if you fucking want it.
100%.
Try hard. You can get anything you want in life. Yeah, shut the fuck up.
Exactly. And that's another thing that these guys try to make you think, is that you could just snap your fingers and boom, you're going to be a millionaire. It doesn't work like that, because not everybody can be a millionaire. It's just not. It's not happening. You know what I mean? That's why we have, you know, poverty. That's why we have middle class. That's why we have the upper class.
We
Because
still have
not
middle class?
it's rare, but yeah, we still do. You know, I consider myself in the middle class. I know I ain't upper class. That's for damn sure.
Po.
What do you mean you're po?
I'm po.
Po?
I ain't rich, because there's no middle class anymore. They're wiping that shit out, Anzo.
You ain't poor, bro.
Well, I definitely ain't rich.
I know that, but you ain't poor either. You know what I mean? We know poor people. You know what I mean? And you ain't like that. You know.
Yeah,
so
but
I still consider you middle
there's
class.
degrees to everything.
Yeah. But okay, so if you're not living paycheck to paycheck, then I think you're middle class.
Sounds about right.
That's what I would say.
But in all honesty, with the cost of living now, if you ain't making X amount of money an hour or X amount of money a year, you're poor. Well, I mean, even if you're budgeting your money and whatnot, you're classified as poor, but you're managing. Because Anzo, it's fucking crazy. Like we said, a pack of a steak that was, 15, 16 bucks is now 35, 36 bucks.
Mm-hmm.
What do you don't eat steak anymore?
So here's what I would say, and I say this: I think if you are alone, it's more of a struggle, right? One person cannot, unless you're living in like a bachelor's where you're only paying a little bit amount of money. No,
the fucking rents are ridiculous. I mean, you got to live in a impoverished area to be saying you're paying, $500, $500 for 3.5.
No, but a bachelor's is a one and like a one bedroom that you can get for like $500, right? Something like that. You can actually get a good one, because I had one that was pretty nice at one point. Like, it was a brand new apartment.
When?
I just had, huh?
How long ago?
Shit, maybe 10 years ago.
That shit ain't $500 anymore. You know what I'm saying? That shit ain't $500 anymore.
No, for a bachelor's. No, for a bachelor's, they're around the same price, because they can't really charge that much for a bachelor's, right? What they will do is some of them have internet and stuff included. You probably won't get that anymore, but you get them around.
Anzo,
my friends, yeah.
I talk to these kids. They're paying $400, $500 for a bedroom.
Yeah, it depends on where, though.
But the struggle is that deep. You think they want to live in a bedroom? These $500 apartments you're talking about, they don't exist, man. They don't exist. You couldn't go get one right now,
bro.
There's none available.
My friends are looking for one. I could go on Kijiji right now and find for like
They
five,
talk
six
about
hundred bucks.
housing, the struggle, the housing in Montreal from July 1st, whatever, July 4th, whatever moving day, it's at an all-time high because
Absolutely.
there's fucking condos going up everywhere nobody could afford, man.
Absolutely, 100%. But what I'm saying is these people are trying to get like 3.5 or 4.5, stuff like that. But a bachelor pad is, or a bachelor's, which is a one, sometimes it's even just a room. You know what I mean? But they're not as expensive as people think they are. See? So like right now, like a 3.5 is like 950 bucks. That's fucking crazy.
You know what I'm saying? How much an hour you have to make to have that 3.5 fucking paid? Put groceries in your fridge. You definitely have to have a cell phone. You have to do public transportation, so a bus pass, something along those lines.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be making like at least 20, 22, 23 bucks an hour, no? If not more.
I don't think so.
Do
I
the
don't
math,
think so.
brother. Do the math.
Yeah, but I know people
You're
who's
paying
living.
900 bucks a month for rent.
Yeah, but I
How
know
much are you
people.
clearing every 2 weeks at
But I
22
know
bucks?
people. I know people who are making 16 bucks an hour and surviving, bro. Like it doesn't have to be 22. 22 is quite a bit. But my boy, he came from Lebanon, and he's only making like 16 bucks an hour, and he has a nice little place
Where?
in Cotonage.
16 bucks an hour and he can afford an apartment.
Mm-hmm.
He's probably really disciplined too, because you got to be real disciplined to spend that. Only making 16.
I mean,
You got to be
if you
very
do the
disciplined.
math, it just doesn't make sense because people are telling me. I had no idea that rent spikes so high. Everything spikes so high. Everything has gone up, but salaries have not gone up. So I don't know how people could still be living the same as they did 5 years ago, let alone 10 years ago.
Well, I am pretty sure they're not living the same way, but again, at the same
It's
time,
got to be a
it's
fucking struggle, man. Like a
it's
major
yeah, yeah.
struggle. No
Well,
entertain. Like for me to see a family going to the hockey game, that's a huge fucking expense, man. Just one night entertainment. That's a huge, like, you have to be doing something on the side in this province to be getting by because they take 40% of your fucking money in just taxes.
mm-hmm.
You know that, JG? 40%.
Mm, mm, mm.
So if you're paying any insurance, yeah, go look, Anzo. I did the thing with my wife. She's paying almost 50% because she pays union fees and all
Yeah,
corporation fees.
but
But
again, it also depends on the bracket you're in, right? A regular person, if you get a higher every tax bracket, you get higher, right? So if you're in a regular tax bracket, it's only 22%, 22.5, because I do it all the time. I calculate my tax all the time, and I
22.5 is going to affect you at 40,000 the same way 40% will affect me at 80,000. If you really think about
pretty
it,
much,
it's the
yeah,
same fucking shit.
pretty much.
We're
I agree
both
with
getting
that.
taxed the same way because
Pretty much.
if you're not putting your
But
money in RSPs and stupidities like that, you're working for them or we are
yeah,
working for them.
pretty much, I agree with that. But you got to understand too, like even if you're at 80,000, right? You're in a higher tax bracket,
Yeah.
but your taxes, you know what I mean, skyrocket as well. That's
You're,
why it's so fucking like for me, I can't and if I have to, I will, but I won't really work overtime because you don't
you get
see that
taxed more. You
overtime
get taxed
fucking
more.
money. You
You
don't
might see it
see it.
come
Uh,
income tax. You might see it come
Right,
income tax.
right. You might end up getting it back at the end of the year, right? But you don't see it.
No.
Like you work 12 hours, you know what I mean? Like you do, let's say 10 hours of overtime, and you'll maybe get 50 bucks from that because they tax you like crazy. Now, there's a good chance at the end of the year you get back a $2,000 fucking check from the government. It's good, right? But it's still not worth
It's not
doing the
guaranteed.
overtime. Yeah,
That's all I can
exactly.
say.
Sure
It
listen.
ain't fucking guaranteed.
One
'Cause
hundred
I didn't
percent.
get that
What
check
up,
a few
Terrence?
times. What up,
Yeah,
T?
100%. 3 jobs for some is barely getting by. Yeah, exactly. This is why and I say this a lot too, you got to live within your means as well, right? A lot of people, I'm not saying all, but a lot of people who understand that they may not be making a lot of money, they still want to act like they are, right?
Yeah, for sure. Living beyond their means.
Exactly. Oh, I gotta have this place. It's fire and this and that. You know what I mean? Listen, I look for a place that looks good and that I can afford. If I can afford it, 100%, I am fucking there.
Just no
Better.
roaches, just
Oh,
clean. I'm not
no
looking
road.
for no
Yeah, no
fucking
rodents
high end
whatsoever.
shit.
Right, right. No
You know?
rodents whatsoever. No roaches, no rats, no nothing. But at the end of the day, I do think that, like you said, it's a struggle. I agree with you. Like $16 an hour is a struggle. But
It's
if
gotta
you
be hard.
have,
But it could be
I,
done. You're right.
but I think it's better to have two incomes. You know what I mean? Like
100%.
that's really
One
the only
handles
way.
utilities, one handles
Yes,
rent, you know?
yes,
Yeah.
That way you
yes.
both have money.
Yes, that's the
Hmm.
only way you can actually have extra money is if you're sharing rent with somebody. You know what I mean? Because if you're not, then you may end up having $100, maybe not even $80, $90, maybe 100 for the next 2 weeks until you get paid again if you get paid bi-weekly.
Yeah.
You
And
know what
that
I mean?
surprise bill comes in the mail or some fucking stupidities comes to you and snatches that $100 and then you have nothing.
Facts, 100%. Union, retirement, etc., that are taken from your wife's income ain't taken from people working in the private sector. Yeah, well, that's the thing too. You got to understand certain people. You know what I mean? They get tax breaks, they get all kinds of stuff, and this and that. So if you know how to work the system, especially when it comes to taxes and stuff like that. If you know how to work the system, yeah, you can get by. But man, it ain't fucking easy. What up, Drop Shop? How you doing? Thank you everybody that popped it in here once again. Um, yeah, we were talking. It just started to go this way, man.
Yeah.
So we're gonna continue the conversation because I think it's something that we need to talk about. Because the second topic or the third topic I have was all Canadians broke. So this is a very interesting topic to what we're talking about because I had this and just let me bring it up real quick.
What happened to God?
Yeah, no, that's coming. That's coming. We'll get to that. But I think because we went into this topic, we just go continue on to it, right? Because when I found this online, I was like, you know what, could be interesting to talk about. Um, Hold on, I gotta find it. There it is. There it is. Because we're having this discussion, right? So, God damn it. Let me share this real quick. Share screen. All right. Here. So, more than 50% of people in Canada are within $200 of not being able to pay their bills, according to a survey. So that's what I was saying. As because this is what we're talking about, then this pops up and it's like I can understand it. I really can because for me, I have and thank God like I get paid a really good amount of money, right? And I have two incomes in the house. But my phone bill is $160 a month. My internet bill is $97 a month. Then I got hydro, which is $78 a month. And then I got my rent, which is $947 a month. So calculate that out, right? That's not including food. I know there are people out there who have to decide whether they want to eat or whether they want to pay their bills. This is
Mm.
why I don't have cable because if I had cable, you're going to add another $120 to that bill. No, what I do is I have my little Android box, and as you can see on my TV, let me just turn it a bit so you guys can see. That is City TV, which you can get on the box. You can get any channel you pretty much want on an Android box. So why the fuck am I gonna pay for cable? I am not doing it. Terrence said, Anzo, when I become parents, you and everyone that's cool with me will be able to live for free. Yeah.
Okay. I
I
hope.
get
Okay,
taxed
buddy.
like 10K. You get taxed like 10K? What the fuck? Wait, what do you mean you get taxed 10K? But thoughts, Roberto. What are you thinking? And give me a second while I go to the bathroom. You guys talk.
All right.
Well, we were just on the topic, and this was before COVID. People were starting to struggle. They were saying more people are relying on credit cards. The interest rates are going to go up, and it's going to come back and bite them. And this is what's happening now. People were stuck at home during COVID getting that government money over here and shopping, 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 shopping.
Mm-hmm.
My buddy sells used cars. He never sold more used cars in his whole 10 years of doing it in that little 2-year span of COVID. So,
And you know what was funny, Roberto? More people were making money with that COVID money than they were actually working.
yeah, a lot of them. A majority actually.
100%. JG, go ahead.
Yeah, it's similar in the states. It's people living above their means when they shouldn't. People aren't saving like they should, if they can save anyway. People aren't investing in their 401ks. They're not doing CDs. They're not doing IRAs. They aren't doing any of that stuff that you will need because for me, I focus on the future, not so much the present. A lot of people aren't getting a nest egg together, no little savings account to the side, just in case something happens. Because you're getting older, medical bills start coming in. You got to be able to pay for that, even if you have insurance. You still got that other stuff you have to pay. It's you have to be careful and aware at all times. And I saw another article that Europeans are becoming broke. So it's a worldwide thing. Like it's getting crazy.
I think we
I'll
should
say.
start. Oh, go ahead, Anso.
Oh no, you first, Roberto.
I was gonna say I think we should start talking about that new currency they're starting over there in
Yeah.
Russia, China, India that wants to compete with the U.S. dollar because that's something that needs to be discussed.
Yeah, because
Well,
they're talking about doing away with the US dollar altogether. It's
because
like
what's happening is a lot of
crazy.
those countries are getting together, right?
Yeah, exactly. They're fed
Yeah.
up with the U.S. holding them hostage, cutting shit off.
Right.
Yeah.
100%. So here's what Basel said: you need to specify to Americans that hydro is not a water bill, but a state electricity company. Yeah, yeah. I know they're probably like, oh, you guys, no, it's not a water bill. It's our electricity company. That is correct. At the end of the year, it hurts 100%. Like, Terrence said, Onzo, everything in Cali is stupid expensive. I always plan and calculate everything I do. Actually, me too. Like you're not no word of a lie. I'm at work. I calculate my hours. I calculate my commission, and I calculate what I'm gonna end up with, and I am never wrong. I am never wrong. I always calculate that shit to the T because you gotta at one point, and you see, this is some of the things that I think they should teach you in school is how to budget, how to live, how to save money. That's what the type of education our kids need, right? Because if you don't have a good, well, I won't say a good parent, but a parent that maybe is not great with money or doesn't know how to budget or do that, then they can't teach you how to do it. But you need a school to teach you those type of things. Those are life lessons that you need more than knowing fucking algebra.
Facts.
Plain and simple. Terrence Alonso, you got to be more smart in Cali just to be able to buy stuff, especially between food and entertainment. Good thing I have free medical, which includes medicine, checkups, even surgery. I'm good. Worked it out with the humans. You see,
Nice.
that's one thing I was gonna say too. It is so great to be able to have free health care up here. You know what I mean? Yeah, we have to pay for our prescriptions, but if you get cancer, you ain't getting $100,000 medical bill sent to you because you had to do chemo for a few months.
Oh wow. But
You
I've
know
known a
what I
lot
mean?
of people have gone over to Canada just to get medication.
Oh yeah, yeah, 100%. You see,
Yeah.
this is the thing. We do have private insurance companies here too, but you don't need it. I know you guys, a lot of Americans, you have private insurance companies where you're paying every month and you get,
Hmm.
certain things or whatever. But for us here, we don't have to do that. If you want to take a private company, you can. And what will happen is you'll pretty much maybe instead of getting 10% off of your prescriptions, you'll get 30 or something like that. You know what I
Okay.
mean? That's the benefits having a private one, but you're paying for that as well. But if you're not paying for it and you just have the regular Canadian one, which I've had my whole life, and I've never had to go to hospital and pay for anything.
Hey,
Hanzo, uh, go ahead, JJ.
I was gonna say it's really messed up because I know my mother, got rest her soul, with her insurance, it's good insurance. She can only go to certain people to get care.
Mm-hmm.
So when that dried up, you just fucked, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so it is so fucked up how the United States has their healthcare system. It really
Well,
is.
well, I'll say this, and I know Roberto can attest to this. If you get sick here and have to go to the hospital, don't plan anything else for the rest of the day. Don't
Yeah.
plan it. Don't fucking plan it. And this was like when I was maybe fucking 16 or so. I was, I like, listen, when I buy my cream bottles, right? When I buy my lotion, as you Americans would call it, I like to get every little drop of lotion out of that bottle. Okay. So what I used to do is when it got down to the end, I would take an Exacto and cut it open to get the cream out. So I was holding it in my hand like this, and I took the Exacto, and it went like butter, and went cut right here on my wrist, from here to here, cut my wrist. Thank God it missed the vein or whatever, right? So I'm like, fuck, I gotta go to the hospital. I went to the hospital. I think it was like maybe 10 p.m. I did not get out of that motherfucker until 8 a.m. in the morning.
Wow. Wow.
So if you go to the hospital here and you don't have like serious,
You got to be
problems,
bleeding profusely, or
yes, yes,
heart attack.
yes, chest pains, something that could kill you, then they'll take you right away. But if you're just going for stitches, oh, you're gonna be in there all fucking
Yeah,
night.
but the shit is free though.
you know, preach, Roberto. But but I can't
But you
lie.
may die while you're waiting.
That's the thing. I can't lie, Roberto. At one point, I was like, I am just gonna go home and let this fucking thing kill itself. You know what I mean? That's how frustrated you get
Yeah.
when you're waiting in there like for so long. You know what I mean?
And they put a big fucking sign right there too. If you
Mm-hmm.
elevate your voice or escalate the matter, you will be asked to leave the premises. They
Facts.
already know that people fucking lose it every fucking day in that place.
One
Like my
hundred
daughter
percent.
had a temperature where her head was gonna explode, and they told us just wait.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
wait till her head explodes. I
yeah,
fucking
yeah,
lost it.
yeah, for sure.
I
Because,
got thrown out.
and I also think that with the fact that they're so overrun,
Yeah.
they don't diagnose you properly. So this woman that I work with, right? She was having pains for a while. You know what I mean? She left work for about 3 weeks. Okay. She tried to come back, was feeling a little bit better. She came back for one day. The next day, I found out she was in the hospital again. The day after that, cancer. The day after that, found out that the cancer had spread through her intestines into her stomach, and they ended up giving her 2 years to live.
Mm.
But the problem is that she was going through these tests months before they diagnosed her with cancer and didn't find it until she went back to work and then left and went to the hospital again about a month later. Now, I don't know if the month time that she went there was enough time for them to find it, maybe treat it, But that's what I'm saying. Because these hospitals are so overworked, I just don't think, unless you go and tell them, I want this, and this, they're just going to do the regular stuff and, like, okay, you're fine, and then go away. You know what I mean?
Patchwork.
Give your prescription. Yeah, patchwork. So that's one of the problems that we have with our hospitals here. We do have private hospitals, which I think are a little bit better, but I think they're
Much
expensive.
better. But
I've never
yeah, you
been to
gotta
one.
pay. You gotta pay.
Yeah. Terrence said, even my prescriptions are free. It's the whole plan. I'm very lucky because not many humans have the plan I have. I just have to give them my card or just say my name. They can pull me up anytime. You see, that's the thing. Yeah, you may have a good system. You know, some of you guys do. You're paying for it. It's just we don't have to pay for it, but we suffer with our hospital system. With my conditional multiple fibrosis, I got admitted within minutes. Yeah, exactly. So if you have issues like that, you will, right? Boom, right away. And big up to Basel, man. Me and Basel linked up a couple weeks ago, well, about a
Oh
week
yeah.
ago. Yeah, yeah, I had a drink uptown and shit. Cool dude. Very cool dude. You know, definitely gotta do that again. But yeah, so if you have like them kind of issues, then 100% you're going to get taken very quickly, you know. But if you're just going for a regular checkup, it's gonna take forever. And if you don't have a family doctor, good luck for that. Good luck for that. To
Yeah.
get a doctor, you will have to go on a waiting list for at least 2 years. That's
Mm.
the least. So God forbid something happens to you within those 2 years and you don't have a family doctor. I don't have one. You have one, Roberto?
Mine just retired.
So now you know what's gonna happen. You're gonna have to find. Did he recommend you to anybody, or you gotta go and find your own?
I don't even know, man.
Right. I think you end up have to go out and find your own, which they're gonna put you on that list, and you're gonna have to wait like 2 to 3 fucking years to get a doctor. It's crazy, and all of this was because of Bill 101. Anzo, for those of you that don't know what Bill 101 is, that's the bill where they basically said everything is French, right? And when that bill was passed, you had a lot of doctors and a lot of professionals leave this country and go to Toronto. That's why Toronto is as popping as it is now, is because people left Quebec right away. And they're going to do it even more now because I had to call the government the other day, right? And they have a message on this fucking thing that if you are not this, if you're not an Inuit, if you're not this, I can't remember what the criteria are, they don't have to speak to you in English.
What?
So that is correct. This is the government. So if you have to communicate with the government of Quebec and you don't hit one of those exemptions, I did. Fortunately, I did hit one of them because I've been in here my whole life. My family's been in here my whole life. But if you don't hit one of those exemptions, they will not speak to you in English, in French, in English. Sorry. So you're
Mhm.
screwed. Our Hydro Quebec, which is, as again, our electric company, if you
Monopoly.
call it, yeah, they're the only one in Canada. Okay, well, in Quebec. Sorry. No
Well,
way.
they're the ones who supply you guys too. Hydro
Yeah,
Quebec sends hydro to the U.S.
yeah.
Mm.
But wait. Hydro Quebec's monopoly in. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Ontario, they have their own hydro.
They have their own shit,
Yeah. Okay. Right.
but
So
our shit ran well.
um
That's why the Americans come to us.
yeah. It's run pretty well. I
Oh, they're
think.
pirates. They're pirates.
Right. And they, since they're a monopoly, they have the right to charge you whatever you want to. Like a couple years ago, they were going to court because they were overcharging people for their hydro, so they had to pay back and shit like that, you know. But um shit, I can't remember what the point I was trying to make now. Terrence said, if I get sick, I just do push-ups or some curls and I'm good. Oh, okay. So what I was saying is, yeah. So if you call Hydro Quebec, there is no English option. None.
Hmm.
Press one if you speak French, press two if you speak English. That is not there anymore. So if you don't speak French, you can't communicate with Hydro Quebec unless you do it online.
And if you don't communicate, your lights will turn off soon.
Facts. So what's happening is we have people who are coming here for schooling, but they are going to bounce because they have to do everything in French. So all the new little immigrants that are coming here that want to learn French, want to learn English, or want to, do their schooling in here, they have to take 100% of their courses in French.
Crazy, huh?
Do that work is going through this shit like right now. Before they passed, they were talking about passing the bill. He was like, "Oh, I'm gonna need to leave," right? So we did this whole big thing for him because he thought he was leaving, but then he ended up getting a lawyer, finding out okay, he didn't have to leave. But now it's getting worse for him, right? So now he's pretty much either gonna have to leave or learn French, which he's trying to learn French, right? But it's not that easy for someone like you know hasn't been here and never really associated with French, and now all of a sudden he got to learn this new language. Some people will get French easy. You know what I mean? It won't be hard. But the problem with our French language is it's extremely hard to learn because everything is masculine or feminine, right? So if you're talking about a chair in French, it's either masculine or feminine, and you have to know how to structure your sentences to add that in there. It's crazy. It's not an easy language to learn, man. It's really not. You have
Even
some.
harder to write.
Oh, absolutely, 100%, 100%. So that's why a lot of people have problems learning our French, and I don't know, man. It just at the end of the day, I think a lot of people are gonna leave even more now, and
100%.
Canada's probably gonna die. Or I won't say die. What's up?
Not Canada,
How
Quebec.
you doing? Did 3 years of French in high school. Oh, you did French? Yeah, Quebec, not Canada, exactly. Oh, you did 3 years of French in high school, so you can speak French. That's good. Me personally, I didn't want my son to have the same issue I had, so right away, French school. Boom. He went for and and that's another thing. For whatever reason, in the French school, it was like they treated him differently. You know what I mean? Because he's a black kid. There were black kids in the school. So it's hard for me to say that it was because it's a black kid. But at the same time, I think maybe most of the kids in the school came from French backgrounds and he didn't, right? And I think that's one of the reasons why they treated him kind of the way they did. But he's fluently bilingual now. And I had to do that because I didn't want him to have the same issues that I had growing up. I never heard about that one. You can't force people to speak a language. I'm
Oh, here
surprised.
they could.
Mm-hmm. They 100%. That's what they're doing. Like that's exactly what they're doing, man. They're trying to force you to speak French. Test it out, Basel. Call Hydro Quebec. Tell me if you hear an English option. When I first heard that, I was like, "What the fuck?" You know what I mean? I'm like, "Wait a minute. I can't talk to anybody in English." Oh man, fuck this shit. So I went online. I had to do it online. Yeah, scroll language and Cree language don't count as languages, Terrence. But that's what you have to do here. So it's not only our Canadian and a lot of the money issues have to do with the bills that they're passing. It's that simple, you know. If you have a business that has over, I think it's 20 people now. It was 25, but if it's 20 people, you cannot speak English in the office.
What?
Yeah.
That is correct. Yes. You have a business with over 20 people in it. You can't speak English in the office. They're not even supposed to speak to you in English when you go into a store, bro.
That is fucking ridiculous.
We have language police.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
So if you speak English with the language police, what will happen?
It's not speaking
Well,
it so much now. It's just for businesses. You can't have your literature only in English.
that's
If
what the
you do,
language
you
police
get a
are.
fine.
Yeah. So
Has
the
to be
language,
bigger in French than English.
right? The language police will go to businesses, right, and they'll go into the business to see if your employees are speaking French. Your signs have to be predominantly French, right? I don't even think you can have the English on the sign anymore, Roberto.
It has to be much smaller.
You can still
I
have
don't
it.
know.
Okay, I wasn't
Eventually,
sure.
they're gonna wipe that shit out.
Yeah, one
Eventually,
hundred
they're gonna
percent.
say no English.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Sooner or later, and the only way, and you know what? I would say the only way to get rid of that is to get this guy out of power. But to be honest with you, even if you're not part of Legault, he's a primary premier of Quebec, right? Even if you go to other political groups, they all have the same mentality about French, right? So you can't escape it. You're going to put one person into power, another group into power, and they're going to feel the same way about the French language. They may disagree on certain things, but at the end of the day, that whole government feels that the French language is dying. And you know what's funny? I'm going to bring something up too because I was like, oh fuck, hold on, let's see if I can find it. But continue, Roberto. Say what you're speaking about.
What was I speaking about?
Shit, I don't remember. Let me see if I can find this video
So
because
as an
yeah,
American,
go
if I'm
ahead.
visiting Canada, or is it all of Canada, or just certain provinces?
Quebec.
The French is
Quebec.
here, just here.
Okay, so if I'm an American visiting Quebec, I'm fucked if I don't know French.
Not necessarily. It depends where you are, to be honest,
Okay.
because we have what's called the West Island. It's predominantly English. No matter where you go, even if they speak to you in French, you'll notice that they have English accent because
Mm.
they're more. I used to call the West Island like Vermont Plattsburgh
Mm-hmm.
kind of people. You know, like they speak differently. Their English is more predominant over there. When we grew up, English was predominant in our neighborhood. Um, Now there's so many different cultures there. I can't even say, you know. I hear French, I hear English, I hear Russian, I hear Filipino, I hear all kinds. If you go to the wrong part of Montreal or Quebec City, you're going to get that definite French shit
Mm.
where you're going to find it very hard to find people that'll speak to you in English or will speak to you in English.
Mm-hmm. 100%. So I found the video. I just gotta find the part because in this video, it's Avon Preach video, right? Montreal guys, of course, and they pretty much show a graph and they explain why. Here it is. I won't play the video, no copyright strike, but I'm just gonna. Oh, you son of a bitch! But I'm gonna play the graph, and then we'll get on to the next topic. But hold on, share screen. This is why the French people have an issue. French declines in Quebec household. Proportion of Quebecers who spoke prominently French at home. In 1991, it was 80, a little bit over 82%. Then it went up to maybe like 84, 85 here, and it dropped all the way down to less than 78% of households that speak French. So this is why they feel the way they feel is they think that their language is dying. But according to the chart, that might be true. But at the end of the day, English is the universal language. It's just a fact. You know what I mean? So this is why people are wanting their kids when they come here to learn English. Because if you know English, then you can pretty much get around anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Second Cup has to add cafe to be able to still exist. 100%. Oh, there was a time where I think it was Paramount movies were not being shown in Quebec because there was a translation issue going on. And something happened. I can't remember what the whole thing was, but for about maybe 6 months, maybe to a year, there were no movies from Paramount being shown here because of our French law. JG, just wear a U.S. flag T-shirt, and people will leave you alone about your English. Yeah, pretty much. If you're a foreigner or
The
you're
cops won't leave
vacationing
you
over
alone.
here, especially if you're black, for real. But yeah, you're pretty much they'll pretty much talk to you in English if you're not from here. But if you're from here, like, and they say it in this video, it's never happened to me, but they preaches like he's on a bus speaking in English, and someone's like, "Oh, this is Quebec, speak French," and then he started speaking French, and they were like, "Okay, whatever," you know what I mean? That's personally has never happened to me, but I would flip out, and I don't, and I think there are people like that, like that think you need to speak French if you're in Quebec. So, last topic we have for the night. Oh, did anybody have anything else to say about that?
No.
I'm just flabbergasted. Go ahead. Language police, that is funny.
JG learns something new every day, right?
Man, I ain't going to Canada. I know that.
Oh, regardless of that, you would love it here, bro. You would love it here. I'm sorry, and I know you Americans, you got them fake red bones and big body gals, but I think Canada has some of the most beautiful women in the world.
Oh, bro, I've seen
Montreal.
some
Montreal, just
Twitter
to top it
Twitter
off.
photos, man. I'm like,
Facts,
God,
facts.
what's in the
Montreal
water?
just
In
Montreal
alone,
Canada?
ranked top 5 in the world for the longest time for beautiful
guaranteed,
women.
Wasn't that one girl
guaranteed.
that was on Friday After Next? I think she's Canadian.
Which one? I don't
Friday
remember.
After Next. The black girl that fuck me,
I yeah, I know who you're talking about. I don't
Dana or something. I
remember.
can't remember the one that was Cat Williams. The one I was with
Yeah,
Cat
yeah,
Williams.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
think she's
yeah.
Canadian.
Possibly, I don't remember, but we definitely got some great women. Similar problems here. President slurs his English a few times, but they expected everyone else. Yeah, Anzo, you got to come out here. Oh, listen, I know. I don't have to go out there to know about Cali and the women out there. I know 100%, right? Because it's hot constantly. So there is nothing but thong bikinis walking around the street on a regular day like it's nothing. I can't go there. You know what I mean? I can't go there. I can't. I can't do it. I can't do it. My head be spinning. But when it comes to like beauty, it's here in Montreal. It's Canada, 100%. And the final topic that we had for the night was, do you believe in God? And again, the reason why I had this question is my boy, he goes to the mosque all the time, you know what I mean? And he's really, into his religion. Then you have Danny, who's, doing his thing and, is trying to be a better man. So the question I have is, do you believe in God? And I'll start with you, Roberto.
Why don't you start with yourself, Mr. Anzo?
No, I got to go last because I might have a hot take, but go ahead.
Yeah, I believe in
Also, I
God.
mean, you got to come and chill. Come to Cali and chill with us. All right. JG?
But it doesn't mean I have to go to church every day and
Oh, of course not.
church every Sunday,
Of course not. JG?
Yeah. I think the religious aspect probably is the one thing that kind of pushes people away from God. But yeah, I do believe in God. Yeah.
All right. So I go back and forth on this a lot, right? And the reason why is because my father was an atheist. My father did not believe in God. You know what I mean? Jehovah Witness used to come to the house back in the day. You know, when they used to knock on the door.
Yeah, and I tell
Um,
them, get to stepping.
right? My
Spray them with
dad
the hose or something.
my dad would go up against them. Like the door would knock, he'd be like, "Oh, Jehovah fucking Witnesses, open up the door," and they'd be like, "Hey, sir," blah blah, blah. And he would just have this back and forth with them constantly, constantly, constantly. Right? Well, my father's issue, especially with the Jehovah Witnesses, is his mom died because of the religion. Right?
Mm.
So if you know anything about being a Jehovah Witness, you have to understand that they do not allow operations. So my dad's mom, my grandma, was sick, and an operation could have saved her life, but because of the religion, my dad or my grandfather said no. So my dad has always held a resentment for my grandfather for that reason. Did he end up squashing it, and my grandfather ended up getting to having a little relationship? Yes, they did. But for a long time, that was an issue. Now, when it comes to me, I don't want to sit here and say, no, I don't believe, because there are a lot of times where I do have faith, and then there are times when I don't, right? And when I was going through my depression, I didn't. I can't even lie about that. I didn't believe there was a God. Like, why would you put me through this? Right? I've never done anything to hurt anybody. I've never, I may not have been a righteous person, but I've never been a bad person. I've always had a pretty good, decent heart. And why am I going through this? You know what I mean? But as I'm going through certain things are happening. Yeah, Terrence, I'll send it to you in a minute. Certain things are happening to where I'm like, there has to be something, right? Do you believe in coincidence?
No.
Like, this can't be coincidence. Like, my mom was on the hospital bed, and when she was going through her stuff, she was asking, you know, is Rumble, which was my dog, is he coming with us? No, he's not coming. Oh, can I have 3 days? I just need 3 days. Those were the things she said. And she literally died 3 days after saying that. I don't know how I can sit here and say there isn't. You know what I'm saying? Like, after seeing stuff like that, I don't know. JG, any thoughts?
And understandably so. I think it's human nature to question the existence of God or a God, whatever which way you want to believe. Um, me losing two brothers 8 months apart from each other, I question why would you take them away from my
Mm-hmm.
family? Like, my mom
Mm-hmm.
who suffered so much towards the end. Why would God allow her to suffer when she believed you so much?
Mm-hmm.
Right? I remember an article decades ago. It was about Mother Teresa. And in that article, it stated that she, at certain times, questioned if what she was doing was right. Was God real? And I said to myself, if she could question things as near perfect as far as we know she was, I should be able to question it too.
Mm-hmm. I
Right?
don't think there's a problem with questioning. You know what I mean? I think maybe it's what the answer you come up with. Go ahead,
Exactly.
JG.
Exactly. And so you look at all these things going on, right? My dad's parents, who my grandfather, a God-fearing man, cancer took him.
Mm-hmm.
Why would God allow cancer to take such a God-fearing person? Right? His mother, who was very big in the church, influential in the church, when she got ill, no one from the church checked on, nobody even cared to come by and visit her. and she just stopped going to church altogether, right? And it's I think so many words. It's almost like some people have to believe in something to keep going in life, right? And God
Right.
is the reason to keep going. But then you have a lot of people use God for negative reasons, right? Where you have God-fearing ministers who died, but you got Creflo Dollar running around stealing money, right? In the name of God. So it's I don't question or fault anyone who doesn't believe in God. But for me, even though I still do have questions, it's never a point where I can say I
You
never
don't believe.
believed in God or
I
don't
got
believe in
you.
God. I have questioned, but I've never not believed in God.
Before I get to Terrence, Roberto, have you ever questioned whether there was a God or not? Okay, Roberto's muted, so I'll come back to him. Terrence, go ahead. What are your thoughts?
Okay,
Okay,
so
hold on, Terrence. Roberto's back. What's up, Andrea? How you doing, man? Good to see you, Roberto.
Andrea Sluho.
Yo, what up, Andrea? You said, have I ever questioned God?
Have you ever questioned
Yeah,
whether there
but
is a God?
I questioned him, not whether there was one, just questioned outcomes. Like, JG said, why did things take place if there was a God? And, in my case, I could say it was because I'm selfish, it was an outcome I didn't want. And, why should I question whether God is in existence or not through my selfishness? And I think more times than not, when we question whether there's a God, it's because the outcome of a situation wasn't what we wanted it to be.
I agree with that.
I don't know if God is a lottery. We shouldn't only ask God for things we want. We should be thankful for the things we have.
Facts, 100.
I don't know. It's a very toughy subject because I grew up, one parent being Catholic, one being Protestant. I went to a Catholic school where they forced it on me.
Right.
And what usually happens when things are forced on me, I rebel. So I could somewhat blame the church for making me not more spiritually, blessed, because it was forced on me in a way that I can almost call abusive,
Absolutely. And okay, so before I get to Terrence real quick, do you think they should have taken it out of schools, right? Do you think that, because remember, when we were in school, the first thing you do is pray and then your allegiance to the flag. And they don't do that anymore. Do you think they should have kept that in the school?
No.
Okay. All right. So we'll get into why, but I want to hear Terrence's thoughts first. Go ahead, Terrence.
all right, so I just wanted to be clear that when it comes to humans and their thoughts in relation to deities, it never bothers me, regardless of what they think, because I'm always thinking about what I think, right? So I wanted to throw that out there. So for me, when I was a kid, same thing with my brother and my sister, Christianity was forced upon us. We did not have an option. My parents said that, if you don't believe in this, you're going to hell and you can get out of this house. They were saying goofy shit like that, right? So I just kind of sat there and absorbed it all, and I was forced to go to church. Never wanted to go on my own. And then by the time I got to, say age 12 or so, then I decided to embrace the deity associated with Christianity. Not just because I felt that the other ones weren't real. It just seemed to be something interesting to me, right? So by the time I started going more into school, that's when a lot of the bad stuff started happening to me, like the bullying and the rejection and my family coming down hard on me, like, essentially getting attacked from all sides. So when I was a kid, I used to pray a lot. And it was only, the idea of like, hey, can you, help me? Humans are attacking me. There must be something wrong with me and this and that. and he never did shit, right? So that's how I looked at it, and I was like, okay, so I was going to God for help and friends and whoever else I could get to, and since nobody wanted to fucking help me, I just did it on my own. So that pretty much like led the end of the whole prayer thing. I was like, okay, deities, they don't do shit, they just let stuff happen. Like I was never in the mind of they cause this or that, because humans are the worst thing in existence, and they have their choices and they make them. It has nothing to do with anything else except that they're terrible. So I never was in the mindset of like God did this or the devil did that. It's too easy to do that. It creates an scapegoat for humans when they do horrible shit. So it wasn't so much like, oh, you did this. It was like you allowed it to happen. Like I understood when I was a kid that superheroes are not real. Like superheroes, they intervene in situations. Gods don't do shit. They just let stuff happen. And that part I didn't like as a kid. I'm like, that's bullshit. You could stop it if you want to, but you're not, because of whatever, humans wish to say. So whenever I pray, which is rare, you're talking about maybe once a year, if that, it's never to ask for anything. It could be like, hey, what's up? How are you doing? But it's not something that happens on a regular basis. It's never for me to ask for anything, because as far as I'm concerned, and this is what I said, sometimes humans, they be making faces when I say this, but that's what happened. I was like, this fucker never helped me. Like, I'm not sure if you saw the movie Pitch Black with the Riddick character when he was talking to the priest, and he was just like, just because you don't believe in God doesn't mean God doesn't believe in you. And then he went into this whole story about his backstory and the umbilical cord wrapped around his neck and stuff. And then he said, I absolutely believe in God, but I absolutely
don't like him.
I absolutely hate the fucker, is what he said. Right. So for me, I was able to relate to that, not in the sense of hating him, but it was just like this whole, like, I don't like you at all. Right. It's just like one of those things. And then on top of that, I have questions, but I've always been in the position of, if he's there, fine. Like, I kind of like, well, you don't do shit anyway. And then if he's not there, that's also fine. Like, either way won't really do anything for me. Ultimately, I don't think I'm a horrible person, but humans have their opinions, but humans aren't deities. So humans will think a bunch of bullshit that deities, I guess, are above that. But if you pay attention to stories, there seems to be blatant contradictions, but that's a separate discussion. But my thing is that my belief is really just a solid thing, to the point to where I'm like, it really doesn't matter, because everything that I am, I had to create myself, and no one helped me, including the deity. And then if that were the case, there's not a single human that can prove that. So I stand on the whole, it's called faith for a reason. It's not called facts. The idea of believing in something that you can't prove exists. There is no proof of divinity. There never has been. But humans believe very strongly in certain things, and I'm okay with that. But what I will not allow is some humans trying to convince me definitively that their way is the only way, or that their way is true, when they have no fucking evidence for it. So as long as they're not trying to make me or someone else feel bad for having questions or whatever, so have you, there's no problem. I'm like, you can believe in a fucking stick for all I care. It doesn't matter to me. It doesn't move my needle either way. So my relationship with God is, somebody would say, well, it's non-existent, but I won't really say that. It's just more of like, hey, what's up? And nothing else. I'm like, you ain't did shit for me, so I'll see you later. That's how I look at it. Like, I'm strong without you, but if you've been in my corner, it is what it is. That's nice. How come you didn't do nothing? So it sort of goes into a lot of different areas. And a lot of times, humans, they don't want you to explain it in that way, because they want you to deliver it in a programmed fashion, as they have been programmed to regurgitate the things that they were taught. But that's just not how I operate. I'm like, logic suggests that you question things to get smarter. If you don't question, you don't get smarter. To believe anything definitively without proof makes you a fool in my eyes. But at the same time, My approach is for me, and it doesn't matter what someone else thinks, nor do I have a problem with what they think. But if we're going to have a conversation, then it is up to me to be honest, which I'm going to be no matter what. So that's like my stance on it. You know, I believe in them, but I believe in them, but I don't need them.
I got you. That's what I was going to ask you, if you believe in them. So before we close up, I got to ask Roberto this. Roberto, and you guys on the rest of the panel, why do you think they should have taken it out of school, Roberto?
I just don't see the purpose. Was it in all schools or just Catholic schools?
Oh no, it wasn't all. Because I was in Coronation, which was Protestant, and we had to do it there too.
Well, we went as far as going to church every Friday, and I used to dread Fridays. You know.
Yeah, no, they didn't do that. They didn't force us to go to church.
I just think that if it didn't apply to everybody, why does everybody have to do it?
I got you, because you have some people who aren't religious, or some people who follow a different religion, like Muslims and stuff like that.
That just gives them reason to get picked on, because if they're the minority, back in my day, you're getting picked on. So if anything were to come about that would subject to you being brought out as a minority,
I got you. JG, what did you think? Do you think they should have taken it out of schools too?
Oh yeah, I think church and state should always be separate. I think in the states, I believe that private schools still do it, pray, stuff like that, which is, of course, different. But as far as public institutions like public schools, keep it separate. If they want to pray, they can do it on their own time.
And Terrence?
Honestly, man, like it to me, I really don't care. I think if they would have kept it, fine. If not, fine. Because like to me, I'm like, I think when you look at it as a whole, it should be a choice. Like, if they want to pray, fine. If they don't, fine. Not so much eliminate it entirely to where if somebody does want to do it, they can't. So I'm a very big proponent of choice. And no matter what choice you make, that some fucking human doesn't attack you for it.
I got you. So I got a question for you guys, because we said, Roberto said it shouldn't be in school. JG said no. Terrence said he don't care. So if this is the case, then why do we care so much when they do the trans and other stuff?
You're asking me, why do I care?
I'm asking that all you guys.
Oh, well, like how do you mean? Like what?
So we see videos, and earlier we showed a video of a father getting all upset because they were doing drag reading in the school, right? So I'm saying if you don't care about, or you don't want church being in schools, and you don't, well, Terrence don't care about it, but why do you think that we go so hard on the other thing?
Okay, so I guess I have to answer that in a few different ways, because it's kind of a broad thing, right? It's not really as simple as that per se. So in one way, I feel like the same thing would be like, don't really care. It's like, if somebody wants to pursue that, that's fine. It should be an option for them. I guess the only time that I would have an issue, maybe, and this is very much a maybe, it would have to be to the point to where if you don't do it, or you don't want to accept it or whatever, that they demonize you and you get in trouble, or somehow they try to force it on you and trick you into thinking into a certain mindset. So what I'm saying is, as long as the approach to it and the intention, like the approach and the intentions of a human is very important, at least to me it is. So if the approach and the intentions of it is good, and you're not trying to trick or control or make anyone feel bad, that you're merely just trying to share something that exists, and you're just only trying to provide understanding and education, then there's no reason for Terrence to get upset, especially if you're telling me, if I go, you know what, I'm okay on that. That's not really for me. But thanks for reaching out. And they're like, oh, okay, no problem. And then they just move on. If that's what it is, then I'm like, hey, do you.
Gotcha. JG?
Ooh, here's a good question. I'm okay with the transgender thing if number one they notify the parents, and the parents had a choice in whether or not they want to allow the kids to be a part of that book reading or whatever the hell they're doing. Now the drag show stuff, whatever. So yeah, that shouldn't even be in schools. If that case, you might as well put porno books in schools. You know, you might as well put other shit in schools. You know, it's really different from prayer because I don't know how they did in Canada, but here it was usually the lowest prayer.
Mm-hmm.
But you have people of other religions who may not subscribe to Christianity.
Mm-hmm.
So you may have people who are Hindu. You may have people who are Islamic. You know, so you can't just say, okay, we're going to pray, but we're only going to do the Christian Bible prayer. You're offending so many people, and you're forcing that prayer. You just can't do it, or it's going to be chaos.
But you see, that's the thing. They were forcing it on us because we had no choice but to do the prayer. Roberto, your thoughts?
I don't see one as this, because I just don't feel like they should be forced to do the prayers, nor should they be forced to sit down and have transgender people teach them about transgender life. I'm pure pro-choice. I'm pure majority. If a majority believes in so, then you make a decision whether you want to be there or not. You shouldn't be forced to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
That's
right.
my belief.
Right. And that's pretty much what, I was saying amongst other things is like, if I'm in an environment, right, because there is a such thing as the majority rules and all that kind of stuff. You get outvoted or everybody's like, hey, what about you kind of stuff. But as long as they're okay with me walking out, then nobody has to get their neck snapped. But if it's
exactly.
But once they start getting in the door and pulling the Iron Man, like you will sign this or you will do, I'm like, okay, who about to die first? Who gonna die first? Like you shouldn't be doing that because now you're not only doing that, it's like you're attacking my whole being. You're telling me that I'm a piece of shit because I'm not of the same mindset. That's basically how I take it. I'm like, that's not fair because I didn't do that to you. So why all of a sudden now, if I'm not joining whatever you're supposed to be, that now there's something wrong? That's not fair. That doesn't make sense. And it has to be addressed. And, depending on the situation, there might be some violence.
Absolutely. Thank you, everybody, again for all your opinions. We had a great show today. I just want to shout out Basel LD. Dewan was in the house. We had David Quintana in the house. Beaming Coon was in the house. Andrea was in the house. Thank you, guys. Oh my God. Nadia was in the house. I almost said her name wrong. Thank you guys for coming in. Much appreciated. It's always a pleasure when you pop in and check out the show. Terrence, where can
I
they
haven't
find
seen
you?
Dandelion. I hope she's all good.
Yeah, I haven't seen her in a while either. I think she's fine though. Terrence, shout out your well, I was gonna say, yeah, shout out your channel. Your channel's still up, right?
Yeah. It's up for now because you know the ins and outs of what's been happening, Anzo. But for humans that don't know, currently I have 2 community guideline strikes on my channel because spineless humans was like, oh, we hate speech. They couldn't handle shit, so they flagging my stuff. But the pattern has been the same since I've been on this platform as a content creator, which is Terrence climbs too high, and the humans are like, nah, we got to snipe his ass down. So that's what they do. But the thing is, I haven't been a content creator for the last year and a half. So like when I left December 31st, 2022, I was at 10,800 subs. And then today I'm at 16,000, almost 16,600 subs. Right? So that's a huge jump for no content. But what it is that humans have been checking out my catalog of, it's like over 7,000 videos. They've been watching it, sharing it, and it's been growing like crazy. In fact, there's this huge thing of like, Terrence, you got to come back. you got to talk about this. And I'm like, holy shit. Like, you know, that's interesting because there were creators that were telling me, oh, you're dumb for walking away at 10K. No one does that. That's even more of a reason why you should stay. If you do that, your channel's going to die. That's the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard. You know, just all this negative stuff. But I've been proving them wrong. And, you know, I said like, hey, you know, I could be wrong, but based upon patterns, if my stuff is still there, the humans will come. I don't know how fast and how many, but they keep coming in. And I appreciate that because I have no control over that. So even though there have been some humans attacking me for different reasons, oh, you're weird, you can't say that, you can't do that, and all these things, there's a large collection of humans that really do like what I have to say, like the things that I have to share and all that. I'm like, that's awesome because they're helping me make a point. Even though I say stuff like, you know what? YouTube ain't really for Terrence. It seemed like the humans can't fucking handle it. There's always going to be somebody getting upset, but that's just the nature of things. And, you know, I guess those humans being there, they're like, nah, T, you know, you belong here. We want you here. So I'm always going to be grateful, even though I say stuff like I don't care. It just means that when I say that I'm talking about, I'm going to exist as I am, no matter what the response. If it's negative or positive, you're going to get Terrence for how he is. But if it is positive, then I'm grateful for that. That's why I call it the T-Virus community. You know, it's a family. You know, and Nzo, you're part of that family. You know, so there's so many good individuals part of that, and it's not even about, you know, hey, I gotta agree with everything you say, and it ain't got nothing to do with that. It's just all about, you know, sharing your thoughts on things, and that's really what's important. The idea that you should be able to do that and not have to deal with a bunch of bullshit. But if you sign up for this, that might come along with it, especially if it's something that's not a popular opinion or whatever, right? So, but yeah, man, channel's still up for now. I am expecting it to go down, you know, and if it does, it'll be like, hey, that's the same shit as usual. But if it doesn't, then I'm like, uh-oh, it didn't happen this time. Oh shit. Like, you know, I'll have that kind of reaction. But yeah, man, it's still up. So if you humans want to go there, there's a large variety. Everything is organized, you know, over 100 playlists. You can find so many things on my channel. So just keep an open mind, and you might be surprised with what you like.
Absolutely. And go look up the strawberry lube video. That shit is hilarious. JG?
Yo, catch me Wednesday nights on the O.O.C with the great Nzo, the great Roberto, and again, the outstanding, the amazing, the spectacular, always man of the hour, Danny. You also find me with my brother from another mother, Super Wise, talking our geek shit.
Absolutely. And Roberto, where can they find you, sir?
If they don't know, they should know, you niggas. It's here Wednesday nights, 9 o'clock, moved up from 10. So for those of you who don't know, it's been a minute. We've been at 9 o'clock. You need to come and check us because there was more of you before who made our show that much better.
Absolutely. And we can't do it without you guys. So thank you all. We had like 15 people up in here at one point watching. So that's great. I appreciate you guys. I always have and I always will. And
Nzo,
yes,
I gotta share this with you. Yeah, this might take you by surprise, you know, live, and you know, never know how humans gonna respond and stuff. But I'm just gonna say it, yeah, because it's something that's been on my mind for the last 10 minutes.
Go ahead.
Yeah, but I hope you're ready for this. Yep, y'all ready?
Yeah, we are.
All right, yep. So hopefully you accept this, because you know this is 100% real. All right, this is first time you're gonna hear me say something like this. I'm just making sure y'all ready.
Go ahead.
So Nzo, what I want to say is, you know, when is it gonna be a 10-hour stream?
I knew that was gonna happen. I knew he was gonna say that, and I will say this: the day you come back to YouTube. Peace.
Wow. Oh, you.
I gotcha.
The greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he didn't exist.